Hello friend, welcome to my YouTube channel. Now I am going to analyze some important news from today's newspaper, The Indian Express. So first important news from the front page is 7 employees of infra company gunned down in Kashmir terror attack. So another terrorist attack occurred in Kashmir Valley, and this time the target is workers from an infra company. So what is the news? 7 employees of infra company gunned down in Kashmir terror attack. 7 employees of an infrastructure company including a doctor from Kashmir were killed in a terror attack on a camp housing workers near the Sonmarg Health Resort on the Srinagar Leh National Highway. 5 employees were also injured in the attack. So 7 employees including a doctor was killed. This is the first major attack in the valley on construction workers of a large infrastructure project. So the workers were working for a large infrastructure project. What is the project? I am telling you. Now police sources said on Sunday evening suspected militants opened fire on a camp set up by the construction company which is building the Zedmore tunnel near Gagangir on the Srinagar Sonmarg road. Sources said the men were having dinner when the attack took place. So the workers were having dinner when suddenly some militant came and start firing on them. So what was the infrastructure project they were working for? That is construction of Zedmore tunnel. Zedmore tunnel. According to the Jammu and Kashmir government official, injured workers told them that 2 men came, snapped the electricity and opened fire at the camp. Now, the employees are from Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Jammu and include a safety manager and a mechanical manager. The doctor, sources said, was a resident of Budgam in central Kashmir. Now, nearing completion, the Zedmore tunnel is being built on the road between Srinagar and Sonmarg, bypassing the avalanche-prone area near Gagangir. The aim is to provide all-year connectivity between Srinagar and Sonmarg. So, the tunnel was constructed over the Srinagar-Leh highway connecting Srinagar and Sonmarg. This Zedmore tunnel. So what is Zedmore tunnel? If we look at Wikipedia, the Zedmore tunnel is a 6.5 kilometer long 2-lane road between Gagangir and Sonmarg in Ganderbal district of Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir in India. It is named after the Z-shaped stretch. Z-stretch. This is the stretch. Z-shaped stretch of road that the tunnel has replaced. Zedmore means Z-turn. The road used before was avalanche prone and used to get blocked for several months, but the Zedmore tunnel provides all weather connectivity to the Sonmarg tourist town. It takes only 15 minutes to travel the 6.5 kilometer long tunnel compared to hours of the zigzag road up and down the hills. If we see the map of the tunnel is look like this. Look at this picture. This is Kangan and this is Sonmarg. Okay, Sonmarg. So the previous road was look like this, existing road. This is the existing road, but this is the Zedmore tunnel. Okay, connecting Kangan and Sonmarg, or you can say Srinagar to Sonmarg. Now, where is the location of this road? If we see the map of Jammu and Kashmir, this is Srinagar, and this road is National Highway 1, also known as National Highway 1, also known as Srinagar Ladakh Road. Okay, this road connects Srinagar with Ladakh. Now on this road This is the Zedmore tunnel. In this area, the Zedmore tunnel is constructed to connect Sonmarg with Srinagar. Another tunnel nearby Zedmore tunnel is a very important tunnel, that is Zojila tunnel. It also acts as a connector between Srinagar and Ladakh. Okay. Now, together with adjacent Zojila tunnel, the geostatically important tunnel on the National Highway 1 Srinagar Leh Highway provides year-round weatherproof connectivity to Baltal, Amarnath Cave, Kargil and other places in Ladakh, enhance Indian military logistics and boost tourism and then economy. It is one of the 31 road tunnel, 20 in Jammu and Kashmir and 11 in Ladakh, constructed at a combined cost of Indian rupees 1400 billion or 17.5 billion US dollar. Total project cost 31 road tunnel, 20 in Jammu Kashmir, 11 in Ladakh. So Zedmore tunnel and Zojila tunnel. Now what about Zojila tunnel? Zojila tunnel is known as the Asia's longest high altitude tunnel. So Zojila tunnel is an under construction 9.5 meter wide, 7.57 meter high and 14.2 kilometer long, longest tunnel, 14.2 kilometer long. Horseshoe. Zojila tunnel is look like horseshoe and Zedmore tunnel is look like Z-shaped, zigzag shaped. Horseshoe shaped single tube 2-lane road tunnel at a height of 11,575 feet above sea level, which passes under Zojila Pass in the Himalayan between Ganderbal of Kashmir and Dras town in Kargil district. Okay, so here it is written that once the tunnel is completed, means when the Zojila tunnel will be completed, travel between Srinagar and Ladakh throughout the year will become possible. The travel time currently between Sonmarg and Minmarg is 4 hours, while it will drastically come down to just 40 minutes after this Asia's longest bidirectional tunnel is completed. So which is Asia's longest bidirectional tunnel? That is Zojila tunnel under Zojila Pass. So this is the news. Next news is this. As trade gap with UAE ASEAN widens, India pauses talks with other. Okay. As trade gap with UAE ASEAN widens, India pauses talks with others. Now this news is about trade, or you can say free trade agreement. India have done free trade agreement with some countries. Okay, like UAE. India have done a free trade 100% free trade agreement with UAE. Then free trade agreement with ASEAN countries, means Southeast Asian countries like Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand. Okay, Asian countries, India have free trade agreement. Then in 2022, India had done another free trade agreement with Australia. India is in talk of free trade agreement with England and European countries. Okay, and also in talk with free trade agreement with Oman and Peru. But after analyzing the already going free trade agreement, India seen that there is a trade gap, means import is more, export is less. Okay, so what is the news? After a series of free trade agreements that have proved more beneficial to partner countries, not India, partner countries, India is adopting a more caution negotiating strategy, temporarily pausing talks for trade pacts with smaller countries such as Oman and Peru. So India is currently in talk with smaller countries like Oman and Peru, but currently India pausing the talks because the already going free trade agreement are not so much beneficial for India. The Commerce Ministry is working on developing a fresh standard operating procedure fresh SOP aimed at addressing the lack of consistent and streamlined procedure for negotiating future trade agreement. Now, why it is so? This comes after several trade agreements including the pact with UAE that came into effect in February 22 and the one with Association of Southeast Asian Nations signed way back in 2010. So, India signed free trade agreement with UAE on 2022 February and Southeast Asian country ASEAN in 2010 have resulted in significantly higher import of goods compared to export and concern over potential breaching of rule of origin by the other side. The deal with Australia. So, India have done a free trade agreement deal with Australia in 2022 also. The deal with Australia, which came into effect in December 2022, is yet to deliver substantial export benefit compared to the pre-deal period. Now, look at these statistics. Before the Lok Sabha election, the government had signed a trade agreement with the European Free Trade Association and was close to signing an agreement with Oman to expand its footprint in the West Asia region. The deal with the UK was also near completion but could not be finalized due to several leadership changes in UK. So, India currently in talk with European Free Trade Association, with Oman and with UK. The government had also indicated plans to begin talks with the Russia-led Eurasian Economic Union, but the ministry could now narrow its effort to maximize export gains. Now, why it is so? Because trade data for September showed that India's import from UAE under free trade agreement deal surged at their fastest pace compared to any other country import. Official data showed that imports increased by a sharp 49.22% in September 2024 compared to the previous year. So, compared to previous year, import increased nearly 50%. Meanwhile, export to the transitional hub only managed a 23.75% rise in September 24 compared to the previous year. Okay. The ASEAN trade deal, Southeast Asian nation trade deal signed during UPI era in 2010 has faced significant criticism due to the widening trade deficit. Widening trade deficit means imports is very high than export, particularly after COVID-19. The trade deficit with the region increased by a sharp 70% in fiscal year 23 compared to fiscal year 22. The goods trade deficit reached 44 billion, means import is 44 billion US dollar more than export in fiscal year 23. So, this is the case. Now, I will tell you about the ongoing free trade agreement that India already signed. The first is with UAE. The Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with UAE was linked on 18 February 2022 and India's first complete free trade agreement to be signed with any country in a decade. The negotiation between India and UAE were concluded in a record span of 88 days and the CEPA was operationalized on 1st May 2022. In terms of CEPA, the tariff commitment of India for trade in goods cover 11,908 items, where the UAE covers 7,581 items. India export to the UAE in value terms, especially for sectors such as gems and jewelry, textile, leather, footwear, sports goods, plastic, furniture, agriculture and wood product, engineering product and medical device. These are the items. that India is exporting to UAE. Next is India EU European Union resume negotiation, means it is under the talk for free trade agreement after 9 years. This would be one of the most significant FTA for India, as the EU is its second largest trading partner after the US. The India-EU merchandise trade has registered an all-time high value of $116.36 billion in 2021-22, with a year-on-year growth of 43.5%. India's export to EU jumped 57% in 21-22 to 65 billion. India has a surplus trade with EU. Okay, so it is under talk. Next is, this is the biggest free trade agreement in the world. Biggest free trade agreement. It not includes India. That is known as Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Is a free trade agreement among Asia Pacific nation. Which nations? Australia, Brunei, Cambodia, China, Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam. 15 member countries account for about 30% of the world population and 30% of global GDP, making it the largest trade bloc in the history. It signed on November 2020. Okay, so this is the map. These countries are in free trade agreement. Okay, total 15 countries. Now, next, India-UK free trade agreement. It is also under talk. So this is the result. Okay, this is red color is export, blue color is import. So export up to 2021, export is greater than import. Okay, as per Government of India data, export is nearly $10,000 million. Okay, so trade surplus means the difference between export and import is $3,232.70 million US dollar. Okay, trade surplus. So India is under talk with UK for the finalization of free trade agreement. So this is the service, that is goods, and this is service. In service, export to India, imports from India, that is also trade surplus. Imports from India, that is higher than export to India. Okay, so India is a trade surplus with UK. Garment also, the ready-made garment supply to UK is also very high. Next is India-Australia free trade deal. The last full and finalized deal signed by Indian government is with Australia in 2022, in December 2022. What was the deal? Benefit to pharma sector, benefit to textile sector, benefit to leather and footwear sector, potential gain in service trade, promoting Maitri and Medship, immediate duty-free access of following labor-intensive sector. Okay, mostly labor-intensive sector like textile, agriculture product, leather, footwear, jewelry, electrical goods, pharmaceutical products, furniture, benefit to engineered products, benefit to gems and jewelry. So this is the deal. India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, virtual signing ceremony, Saturday 2nd April 2022. Piyush Goyal, the then Commerce Minister. Okay. According to the government estimate, trade in good is likely to almost double to 50 billion in 5 years from about 27 billion at present. At present the deal value is 27 billion, but in 5 years it will reach 50 billion. Now what are the product India is going to export? Mostly labor intensive sector like textile, apparel, few agricultural finished product, leather, footwear, furniture, sports goods, jewelry, engineering goods, selected pharmaceutical and medical devices. Okay, tariffs on the remaining 113 tariff lines amounting to 3.6% Indian export will be phased out in 5 years. So in this product, totally there will be no import duty in Australia, total free trade agreement. Okay. Now, what Australia will export to India? Wool, sheep meat, coal, alumina, metallic ores and critical minerals will be immediately reduced to zero. On other products such as avocado, onion, cherry, shelled pistachio, macadamias, cashews, blueberry, raspberry, blackberry, in this product, Indian government will zero its import duty. Okay, this is the free trade agreement between India and Australia. Next important news is about Israel-Palestine war. So 87 killed, 40 injured in deadliest Israeli airstrike on northern Gaza in month. So in 1 month, total killing number is 87 and 40 injured in northern Gaza. So you all know about Israel-Palestine war. If you look at the map of Middle East, so this is Middle East, Israel, Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, okay, Iran, these are Turkey, these are the countries known as Middle East Asian countries. So this is Israel, and within Israel this is Gaza Strip. So Gaza Strip, there is a militant group called as Hamas. So Israel genuinely have a war with Gaza militant group called as Hamas. Another militant group from Iran which is known as Hezbollah. From Iran, Hezbollah. So Israel is in war with both Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Iran and Lebanon. So Hezbollah militant group are from Lebanon and Iran, and Hamas militant group is from Gaza. Okay. Now the main news about is how many Hamas leader or Hezbollah leader was killed by Israel. Okay. So list of Hezbollah Hamas leaders Israel has assassinated since October 7, 2023. Several Hamas and Hezbollah leaders, Hamas from Gaza or Palestine and Hezbollah from Iran and Lebanon. So several Hamas and Hezbollah leaders including Yahya Sinwar, Ibrahim Aqil and Ismail Haniyeh were killed since the start of the war. This is Yahya Sinwar, latest Hamas militant leader who was killed by Israel strike. Then Hassan Nasrallah and Ismail Haniyeh. On October 17, 2024, Israel announced the death of Yahya Sinwar, a chief architect of Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, that sparked the Israel-Hamas war. This comes on the heels of Israel's strike in Lebanon that killed many high-ranking Hezbollah leaders in recent weeks, including Hassan Nasrallah. So Yahya Sinwar is a Hamas leader and Hassan Nasrallah is a Hezbollah leader. So far, several Hamas and Hezbollah leaders have been killed along with other militants since the beginning of current war. Now, another very important news about Israel-Palestine war is this. What is THAAD, which US is sending to Israel? Why this is significant? So, the United States is a very close friend of Israel. So, they are sending a weapon, advanced weapon known as THAAD for this war. So this is the picture of THAAD missile system. THAAD has been developed by Lockheed Martin Corporation. US to send THAAD defense battery system to Israel, even as Israel faces increasing criticism for targeting UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. The US, underlining its ironclad commitment to the defense of Israel, has announced it will send its advanced missile defense system THAAD along with troops to operate it to the West Asian nation. THAAD stands for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, and the battery is used to intercept and destroy enemy missiles. A press release by the US Department of Defense said THAAD will help bolster Israel defense following Iran's unprecedented attack against Israel on April 13 and again on October 1. This action underscores the United States' ironclad commitment to the defense of Israel and to defend Americans in Israel from any further ballistic missile attacked by Iran. Now, what is THAAD and why is the US sending it to Israel? What is THAAD? A THAAD battery consists of 95 soldiers, 6 truck mounted launcher, 48 interceptor, 8 per launcher, means in one launcher there is 8 number interceptor. So in 6 truck mounted launcher, total 48 interceptors, radar surveillance and radar, and a tactical fire component, according to a paper by the US Congressional Research Service. THAAD provides a rapidly deployable capability against short range up to 1000 km, medium range 1000 to 3000 km, and limited intermediate range 3000 to 5000 km ballistic missile threats inside or outside the atmosphere during their final phase of flight, the paper says. Employing hit-to-kill technology to destroy threat missile, the THAAD can defend a larger area than the older Patriot air and missile defense system. It has been developed by Lockheed Martin Corporation. So it is a weapon making company, Lockheed Martin Corporation, who make the THAAD defense system, THAAD missile airstrike system. Now, Lockheed Martin Corporation is a very well-known weapon making organization. Indian Defense also purchased many weapons from US, which was made by Lockheed Martin Corporation. I will show you the list. Look, Lockheed Martin's proposed F-21 partnership with India will deliver advanced scalable capabilities to the Indian Air Force, provide unmatched industrial opportunities, and accelerate India-US cooperation on advanced technologies. This is F-21 which India purchased, made by Lockheed Martin. Then MH-60 Romeo. MH-60R is the latest thread in the stories of Lockheed Martin and US-India partnership. It is the largest program for Lockheed Martin in India in support of United States government foreign military sales. MH-60 Romeo. This is MH-60 Romeo helicopter. Then S-92 helicopter. Sikorsky, a Lockheed Martin company, relies on a joint venture company called Tata Sikorsky Aerospace Limited in Hyderabad, India, as the manufacturing base for its global supply of cabin aerostructure for the S-92 helicopter. Okay, so these are the helicopter and air strikers which India purchased from US, which was made by Lockheed Martin's Corporation company. Next news is Darjeeling Zoo in global award shortlist for red panda breeding. So what is the news? Darjeeling's Padma, this is published by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Darjeeling's Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoo's red panda program selected as finalist for 2024 Vaza Conservation Award. Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoo strengthens conservation with biobanking facility to preserve red panda genetic resource for future. So, red panda conservation breeding augmentation program of Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park, Darjeeling has been shortlisted as one of the top 3 finalists by World Association of Zoos and Aquariums for the 2024 VAZA Conservation and Environmental Sustainability Awards. Winner will be announced at 79th VAZA Annual Conference at Taronga Zoo, Sydney, Australia. So, this zoo, Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoo of Darjeeling, West Bengal, has been shortlisted finalist for 2024 VAZA Conservation Award, which was going on 7th November 2024 at the VAZA Annual Conference at Taronga Zoo, Sydney, Australia. Between 2020 to 24, since 9 captive breed red pandas, 7 female and 2 male, were released into Singalila National Park. Singalila National Park is a part of Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoo, or you can say Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoo is a part of Singalila National Park in Darjeeling in West Bengal. Of the 7 released female, 3 gave birth to 5 calves in the world. This is the red panda in the Singalila National Park, Padmaja Naidu Zoo in Darjeeling. Okay, so red panda is released. Now, what about Padmaja? What about Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park? Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park, also called Darjeeling Zoo, is a 67.57 acre zoo in the town of Darjeeling in the Indian state of West Bengal. The zoo was opened on 1958. Average elevation is 7,000 feet. Is the largest high altitude zoo in India. Is the largest high altitude zoo in India. So today we know about 2 things. One is longest bidirectional tunnel, that is Zojila Pass, Zojila Tunnel, this is Asia's longest bidirectional tunnel, and then Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park. This is largest. It is the largest high altitude zoo in India. Its specialization in breeding animals adapted to alpine condition and has successful captive breeding program for the snow leopard, the endangered Himalayan wolf, and the red panda. The zoo attracts about 300,000 visitors every year. The park is named after Padmaja Naidu, the daughter of Sarojini Naidu. The zoo serves as the central hub for Central Zoo Authority of India's Red Panda program and is a member of the World Association of Zoos and Aquarium. So this zoo is named after, park is named after Padmaja Naidu, who is a daughter of Sarojini Naidu. Now, who is Sarojini Naidu? We all know. Sarojini Naidu was an Indian political activist and poet who served as the first governor of United Province, means Uttar Pradesh. After India's independence, she played an important role in the Indian independence movement against British Raj. She was the first, this is very important, she was the first Indian woman to be president of the Indian National Congress and appointed governor of a state. First woman as a president of Indian National Congress and first woman become governor of a state. Which state? Uttar Pradesh, then United Province. And who is Padmaja Naidu? Padmaja Naidu was an Indian freedom fighter and politician who was the 4th governor of West Bengal from 3rd November 56 to 1st June 67. She was the daughter of Sarojini Naidu. So this park is named after Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park. Next news is solar imports could soar to 30 billion as India targets 2030 renewable goals. What is this news? Solar imports. So, solar imports could soar to $30 billion annually as India target 2030 renewable goals. So, India has a target. What is the target? The target is India's ambitious goal of installing 500 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2030. This is the goal. And who made this goal? Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Okay, where in COP conference, I'll show you here. National statement by PM Modi at COP Conference of Party 26 Summit in Glasgow, published November 1, 2021. So in this COP Summit in Glasgow in 2021, Narendra Modi promised 5 things, also known as Panchamrit. In the midst of global brainstorming on climate change on behalf of India, I would like to present 5 nectar animals Panchamrit to deal with this challenge. First, India will reach its non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. 500 gigawatt 2030 non-fossil energy capacity. Second, India will meet 50% of its energy requirements from renewable energy by 2030. Third, India will reduce the total projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton from now onwards till 2030. So carbon emission, or you can say greenhouse gas emission, will reduced by 1 billion ton from now onwards till 2030. What is the current greenhouse emission by India? Current greenhouse gas emitted by India is currently greenhouse gas as per United Nations Environmental Program, India currently emitted nearly 3,619 million ton, 3,000 million ton, where China 13,000 million ton and USA 6,000 million ton greenhouse gas emits. Okay, where India is placed third with 3,619 million ton. So what Prime Minister promised? Prime Minister promised that India will reduce total projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton. Currently 3 billion ton. So 1 billion ton will reduce from now onwards till 2030. Fourth, by 2030 India will reduce the carbon intensity of its economy by less than 45%. And fifth, by the year 2070 India will achieve the target of net zero, means total zero greenhouse gas. This Panchamrits will be an unprecedented contribution of India to climate action. This is the first. So first is India will reach its non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. Now, India has added 15 gigawatt of solar capacity in 23-24, bringing total 90 gigawatt up to by September. So up to date 90 gigawatt total non-fossil fuel. Target is 500 gigawatt up to 2030, a significant increase from June, from just 2.8 gigawatt in 2014. 2014 it was 2.8, 2024 it is 90.8. So target is 500 by 2030. But the problem is to match this target, the solar import becomes so high mainly from China. Solar import. India's ambitious goal of installing 500 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2030 may drive the country's annual solar equipment import to around 30 billion due to heavy reliance on Chinese goods, Global Trade Research Initiative has said. The think tank has emphasized on the need for India to develop a self-reliant solar manufacturing ecosystem, particularly in key areas such as polysilicon and wafer production, without which India may continue to face high import costs, jeopardizing its ability to meet its renewable energy target. So what GTRI, Global Trade Research Initiative, said that India need to develop self-reliant solar manufacturing ecosystem, particularly in key areas such as polysilicon and wafer production. Okay. Now, earlier this month, Indian Express has reported that India's clean energy manufacturing is experiences experiencing a detrimental impact from Chinese predatory pricing, which is undermining the country's effort to promote domestic manufacturing under the production linked incentive PLI. So government of India is running a PLI scheme, production linked incentive. So if you start solar energy business, government will give you some incentive, production linked incentive. The report said that US had advised India to expand and protect its clean energy manufacturing sector, with the Indian government already investing over 4.5 billion through the PLI scheme to support this industry. But this is not enough. This is not enough. India has added 15 gigawatt solar capacity 23-24, bringing total 90.8 gigawatt by September. Significant increase from just 2.8 gigawatt in 2014. However, GTRI estimate that to achieve 500 gigawatt target by 2030, the country must increase installation of 65 to 70 gigawatt annually, with solar power expected to account for over 80% of this capacity. This target appears highly ambitious, especially considering India's dependence on imports, which could push solar imports to 30 billion. So India is currently going to import nearly 30 billion annually solar imports. Okay. Now, what GTRA recommended several steps to boost domestic manufacturing, including investment in upstream solar production, expanding the scope of the PLI scheme, creating skilled workforce. Srivastava also suggests that India should collaborate with countries like US, EU, European Union, Japan to establish large-scale solar manufacturing facilities. The global shift towards renewable energy led by US, EU, Japan and India heavily rely on solar power, which constitutes a significant portion of the renewable energy mix in most countries. Okay, so this is the news. And the last news is automobile export rise in April-September period. Automobile export rise 14% year on year in April to September period. Means April to September period growth is 14% compared to April to September 2023. Automobile export. If you see, automobile export in the first 6 months, means April to September of the current fiscal year, rose by 14.3% year on year, led by gains of shipments and passenger vehicles, PVs and two-wheelers, and there was no impact of the Israel-Iran war, no impact as of now on the export from India. A top official at Society of Indian Automobiles Manufacturers, SIAM, told Business Line. So according to SIAM data recently, the grand total of all vehicles exports in the April to September period stood at 25,28,248 units as compared with 22,11,457 units in the same period last year. So total export is 2024 is 25,28,248 unit number, out of which passenger vehicle is nearly 3,75,000, 37,57,679. Two-wheelers is 19,59,145, commercial vehicle 35,000 and three-wheeler is 1 lakh. Total is 25,28,248 total export. In 23 this was 22,11,457. So growth is 14.3%. Now where India is exporting our vehicles, commercial vehicle export also rose 12% year on year to 35,731 units first 6 months. Now various African nations, so India mainly export their vehicle in African nation, and other region face challenges due to devaluation of currencies which impacted the vehicle shipment as the nation focused on import essential items. So Africa is currently going a very harsh situation. They mainly focus on import essential items like food grains. Okay, but still we have shown a growth on automobiles export. Okay, nearly 14.3%. So this is the discussion of mainly the important news from today's newspaper. Thank you.